What is up, everybody? Willpower Nation. Nice to see you guys. I have not done a live in here um, in quite some time. So this is totally random, out of the blue. But I was thinking about. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I want to make sure I got comments coming in and whatnot. This live is specifically for Isagenix users. Why? Why would I do that specifically for Isagenix users? Well, there is a lot of people in this community that take Isagenix products. So I will do this for any product or people that are just eating whole food. But I specifically wanted to help you guys navigate what surrounds your product a little bit more, which is the food. And I specifically wanted to bring this up at this time during the year. Studies show, I mean, you don't even need studies to understand this, but what is clearly, sorry, hold on. Um, what is clearly obvious is November and December are the highest calorically dense months of the year for anybody, especially in the United States. I mean, it's just natural. You're moving a little bit less because maybe the weather, you're eating a little bit more holiday foods, more get togethers. There's just, it studies show it. It's a proven fact. Now, Isagenix is 2 meal replacement shakes. Okay. So it's 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 accumulating, let's just call it a percentage of your day in a caloric value. Okay. Well, what happens is during the year, you get accustomed to a routine, right? You got your two shakes and then whatever you're eating. Some of you are eating a meal, but let's be honest, most of you are just eating. You're not eating meals, you're snacking, you're doing whatever you're doing. So the product may be working for you because what it's doing is it's odds are it's putting you in a caloric deficit, right? I mean, if you were to just add up the isogenic system, you're looking at two shakes and a meal, right? It's around 1,000 calories. I mean, when you add it up together. So if your body, whatever your routine is, if your body gets accustomed to an intake, I want you to think of your shakes are part of your intake, okay? So your body gets accustomed to a routine, right? All through the spring, the summer, the fall, and then going into the winter, what naturally happens is everything outside of your shakes goes up calorically. Now, it's hard to balance that without going on a diet, right? But nobody wants to go on a diet during the fall or the winter. So, what naturally happens? Well, naturally you're going to gain weight. Now, you may feel good because, you're taking in your shakes and they're better than anything else that you could be eating, and they're probably killing your appetite because they have fiber and carbs and everything else in them, right? So, what then happens is the other portion of your food, the routine that you got yourself into, that those calories tend to go up. And those calories tend to also go up in toxicity and up in inflammation, okay? It's a natural occurrence. I mean, there's nothing you could do unless you wanted to go on a diet through fall and winter, right? Unless you wanted to go on a diet. But nobody wants to go on a diet. Nobody does. Nobody does it. So, this is why, getting into my point of this live, macros are what you need to know about right now. Because macros, all they do, whether you want to eat Christmas cookies and drink eggnog, what macros are going to do is they're going to allow you to not undereat or overeat. Let me ask you a question. Let's say fall starts, you're drinking your shakes, right? But you get a little wiggle room here because your shakes are filling you up. They're not consuming as many calories, so you got more room. So naturally, you're going to start putting a little bit some Christmas cookies, some things in the mix, right? 'Cause you're not on a diet. Then what happens? You go, oh crap! I think I gained a little bit of weight. I'm feeling a little thick. I'm not feeling so hot right now. So what do? You cleanse, right? You cleanse, or you stop eating as much for a couple days. Now let me ask you a question. I posted about this the other day. Well, maybe I haven't posted the video yet. Actually, binge eating. Who's ever been a binge eater? Throw me a comment. Let me know if you've ever. I've been a binge eater. I've done it before. Have you ever binge ate? One of the leading causes of binge eating is caloric restriction. Okay, studies show that if you reduce your calories by 50%, the odds of you binge eating are extremely high. If you reduce your calories by 25%, the odds of you binge eating are almost 0 to none. They've done studies on thousands of people on this, okay? So what happens? What are the top reasons for binge eating? Intense caloric restriction or intense fasting. So your cleanse is great. 24, 48 hours, it's great. It does good things for your body. But if it's overdone, it could cause too much of a caloric restriction. So then what happens? You're fighting off an episode of binging during the 2 times of the month that the most binging can actually occur, because the caloric difference from what it was to what it is when you cleanse or maybe you go, oh man, I need to eat less. It can actually cause you to binge more. This is why macros are vital for you, because macros are going to allow you to do 2 things. Continue to drink your shakes, but not let you, one, overeat in the window. Can't overeat, but you also can't undereat. Because if you undereat, then you can trigger binging and all that downward spiral after that. You see what I'm saying here? So I want you to stay with me. Macros won't allow you to undereat and overeat no matter what you're eating. So even if you're eating Christmas cookies and drinking eggnog, which I don't advise that. I'm going to explain why. I need you to stay with me here in this live. Even if you were to do that, you're better off doing it under the guidance of macros, because macros are not going to allow you to go into the deficit, which is going to cause more binging, but it's also not going to allow you to go in the surplus, which is going to cause weight gain. Now, look, obviously, let's state the obvious here. If you got one person on same exact human in Isagenix drinking 2 shakes a day, there's 2 humans, okay? Same size, same person, identical twins. One person is they're both consuming the same amount of macros, drinking 2 shakes a day. One person is eating cookies and eggnog and whatnot. The other person is eating a bunch of healthy food. Odds are neither one is going to gain weight. Neither one is going to lose weight. Intake is the same, okay? That's just science. Intake's the same. But one person is going to feel worse. The other person is going to feel better. Yes, I'm saying you should track macros. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm explaining this. I don't like to just tell people to do things without explaining. I want it to make sense to you, okay? So if one person is feeling terrible because they're not gaining weight, they're not losing weight. The other person is feeling amazing. They're not gaining weight, they're not losing weight. Here's the downside to feeling terrible. Feeling terrible causes a chain reaction of other things, okay? Lack of sleep, symptoms, constipation, skin issues, depression through the worst times of the year, okay? That's what I'm trying to explain to you. What happens to people in Isagenix and everybody around the world, in these 2 months, they start to gain unnecessary weight, and they start to create routines that are not that healthy, like aggressive cleansing just to lose weight, okay? Drinking more, taking more supplements, and then eating less and then binging on more food. We've all done it, so don't act like we've all done it or thought about it. This is why macros is going to benefit you. Macros is going to keep the control. So now get this. If you were to drink your shakes, right? Eat in a macro range. So let's say your macro range constitutes of, I'm going to explain macros for you guys staying with him. Your macro range is going to constitute, let's call it 1,500 calories every day. So you're never going to undereat. You're never going to overeat, okay? Now, of your 1,500 days, 1,500 days, I'm just trying to read your comments at the same time. Of your I'm going to explain this to you. You just got to stay with me. Of your 1,500 calories a day. Now, nobody write down 1,500 because everybody's macros are different. The accumulation of calories within your macros is 1,500, okay? So just look at the back of your shakes. Add up the calories, okay? Let's 250 into 500. 500 calories. Now, let's say you throw in, you got your other little stuff, maybe your cleanse, your whatever you're doing, okay? You still have 1,000 calories to consume. 1,000 in your macros, right? 500 of them are your shakes. You took that up every day. Now you got 1,000. Some people will undereat that 1,000. What does undereating cause? What I just told you. It can cause binge eating later. We don't want that. The other 1,000, some people will overeat because there was a party, there were Christmas cookies, maybe there were pizza, maybe there were whatever. That's going to cause weight gain. But if you stay at 1,500 every day, no matter if it's bad food or good food, 500 is consumed by Isagenix products. The other 1,000 doesn't matter, good or bad. Odds are you're not going to gain or lose weight. That's the number one thing. We don't want to gain or lose weight. That's why macros are so important. Now, what are macros? Proteins, carbs, and fats. Okay, this is not something you really need to know, but fats have 9 calories per gram. Carbs and protein have 4. Now, what macros mean is macros give you, instead of a calorie intake, you're not tracking calories, you're tracking macros. So instead of eating for calories, you're eating for macros. I'm going to tell you how this benefits you even more. Just doing the calories will help you. Just stay with me in this life. Just doing the calories will help you. You won't gain weight, you won't lose weight. Didn't say you won't feel bad, but you won't gain weight, you won't lose weight, okay? Why are macros better than calorie counting? Because macros are going to break down the calories for you. They're going to say eat this much of protein, this much of carbs, this much of fat. Why is that important? Because we need protein for certain mechanisms in our body. We need carbs for certain mechanisms in our body. We need fats for certain mechanisms in our body. So tracking macros, unlike calories, doesn't let you over or under consume in one of the 3 main categories: proteins, carbs, and fats. Does that make sense? Because if you just eat 1,000 calories of fat, you're not going to feel good. If you eat 1,000 calories of protein, you're not going to feel good at all. You see what I'm saying? If you eat 1,000 calories of carbs, you're not going to feel good at all. So macros allow you to separate the calories, right? Proteins, carbs, and fats. That's why it's vital. It's very important. So you don't under-consume protein. You don't over-consume carbs. You don't over or under-consume fats. This keeps balance, homeostasis in the body. This is why macros is better than calorie tracking. Now let's go back to the scenario for those of you staying with me. You're not going to gain weight tracking macros through the toughest time of the year. Why is that important? It allows you to go to your holiday parties. It allows you to eat cookies with your kids. It allows you to have fun and enjoy the holidays without gaining weight, okay? I didn't say you're not going to become more unhealthy. You can still lose or gain weight, or not gain or lose at all, and get worse internally. Okay, you can still get worse internally. This was to show you that you can win. You can start winning now instead of doing it in January, February, March, April. Does that make sense? That's why. Now look, macros. You can Google this, guys. Like go to Google. I'm not selling you on anything here. Go to Google. You can Google macro calculator, and it will spit out your macros. Everybody uses formulas. Sorry about that. My other camera I use went out, so I don't know what happened. But you can find these macro trackers all over. They're free. They're free, guys. I'm not selling you on anything here. They're free. They're gonna help you control. Okay. Now let's go back to the person. We got 2 Isagenix users. Okay, they're identical twins. One of them is eating 1,500 calories a day. The other one is eating 1,500 calories a day. They're both drinking 2 shakes a day. So you might as well take out 500 from the 1,500. You got 1,000 calories. They can eat whatever they want. They can eat whatever they want. I see some questions here. We still have to weigh our food. I know I won't do it. I'm going to touch on that, guys. I'm going to touch on that. Now, the person with the 1,000 calories, right? 2 of them. The person eating, I want you to pay attention here. The person eating. My camera is trying to come back. The person eating majority of foods from that are anti-inflammatory and low toxicity is going to feel better. Okay? Stay with me. The one who feels better is happier, more motivated, and moves more, which tends to get better results. Okay? Now, the other person is eating acidic, inflammatory-based candy, eggnog, whatever. They're not going to feel good. That can cause lack of sleep, disruptive sleep, symptoms, constipation, gut issues, skin rashes, and depression, and cortisol release, which is stress. Okay? Can you guys hear me? I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Am I good? Somebody's saying louder. Can you guys hear me? How about now? How about now? We good? Okay. So the question now is, well, I don't want to track. How do I not track? Here's why you should track, or at least try to track. Because if you're tracking, even if you don't hit your numbers, at least you have an idea, right? At least you have some type of idea. You don't have to hit your numbers every day. Now, if you wanted to come into the Willpowered program, we would handhold you through this whole process. It's why we've gotten thousands of results with Isagenix users specifically, because that's exactly what we do. We bring them into the Willpowered program. We say, incorporate your shakes into the macros. We give you customized macros and we change them every week. And then we say, here's foods that you should be eating majority of the time to fill your macros, depending on whatever your goal is. It could either be weight loss. You can come into our program and select weight loss, maintenance, or muscle building. That's going to dictate the macros we give you. And then we're going to handhold you through the month to ensure that you not only get results, but you feel good. So we're teaching you all those things. I'm going to touch on this, guys. I'm going to touch on this on the macros and the tracking. So then we walk you through and we teach you all those things so you can be successful and still eat the foods you want. You can still have the cookies. You can still drink the eggnog. Now, if you don't want to track, okay, here's why I'm just going to try to convince you, whether you use Willpowered or some macro calculator online. Here's why tracking is good through December. It puts you in control, okay? Control makes you feel good. It makes you feel motivated. It makes you feel empowered. Whether it's good food or it's bad food, it puts you in control. So what does that do? That sets you up for January. Think about what's going to happen in January and February. Man, I need to lose some weight. Oh, I need to feel better. You're starting the year in a negative mindset because of your physical, the way you feel, right? You can't perform good at your job, with your kids, with whatever. You can't perform unless you feel good. So if you set yourself up to feel good now while still eating and consuming the stuff you like and enjoy because it fits into your macros, you're going to set yourself up for success in January, February. Hey, look, if you don't want to track, if you don't want to measure, if you don't want to weigh or measure, let me tell you how easy macro tracking is, guys. We get an idea, right? A perception. Remember, your perception of macros is based on your experience around them, which is different than mine, okay? TRF. I'm going to talk about TRF too. Don't worry. Your perception of macros is different than mine. I've macro tracked for years. I know everything about nutrition. Your perception of macros is based on your past experiences. That's how you decide what macros even are. Most people have the perception that macros are very difficult, that you are sitting in your kitchen measuring chicken and broccoli and rice, and you're like a science experiment in your kitchen. That's not the case. Macros can be very easy. Now, for the person who's a chef, that's what their macro experience is going to be because they like putting multiple ingredients. Macros can be very easy, guys. You know, macro calculators like MyFitnessPal have barcode scanners, so you can literally eat anything that's in a package and just scan it. Let me give you an example of an amazing meal that you could track with macros right now. Take 2 minutes. You get a thing of organic bone broth or organic whatever, like the bone. I don't know why it's not coming to my mind right now. It's in a container, right? And then you got a can of organic pinto beans, right? Cool. You pour out, you could scan the barcode on the organic bone broth. It pulls it up in your MyFitnessPal. It asks you, hey, how much you going to have? Oh, I'm going to have 1 cup. Cool. 1 cup into a bowl. Now you scan the little can of organic pinto beans. Boom, right into the app. Hey, how much you going to have? Oh, man, I'm going to have the whole can. All right, cool. Boom, you pour the whole can in there, warm it up in the microwave in 2 minutes. It's one of the best meals I've ever had. As long as you know how to season it, you don't have to track seasoning because there's no calories. Macro track can be really easy. You know how easy it is to track a banana in your macros? If you can't track a banana in your macros, I don't know how you're living on planet Earth. I don't even know how you have the talent to sustain a living in America or wherever you are. Order all the time. Even better, majority of the things you order are in the app. They're in the app. And look, if you can't find the exact thing, just put something that's really similar to it. Like if you order like ramen from some place, like just search in the catalog. Like MyFitnessPal has like 20 million items. Ramen. Cool. What kind of ramen? Beef broth ramen. Cool. How big is it? I don't know, man. This thing looks like it's about 2 cups. Cool. You see what I'm saying? Macros isn't about measuring to the exact milligram. It's bringing awareness of what you should do. So here's why. Because if you're tracking, even if you're just guess tracking, you may go at the end of the night and be like, man, I've already had all my food. I don't really need that. Sushi's easy to track. Like every sushi roll on planet Earth is in MyFitnessPal. So I never cook. Never. The most extent that I will cook is I will get frozen hash browns at Sprouts, and I will put that in a frying pan and warm that up and eat it with organic ketchup and hot sauce and organic black pepper and Himalayan pink salt. Like I eat that like once a day. It takes 5 minutes. I do not cook. I eat this lifestyle every day. It is not hard. I'm telling you, it's not hard, but you have to get your feet wet. You have to, because you eventually, that's why macros are a means to an end. Macros are not something you do for the rest of your life. That's why in the Willpowered program, we put people on macros and then we take them off and teach them how to intuitively eat, how to build a subconscious foundation, of understanding portion sizes, understanding what food is, and then never having to track it or diet again. That's why if you guys see my ads or you see me posting on my personal page, we keep saying kill the diet, because that's what we're doing. What you guys want is what we're doing. Just they're scared to go in on it. But you have to get your feet wet. And macros isn't about cooking 5 meals a day and being a chef in your kitchen. It doesn't matter what you eat. Like you could go through the drive-through at Wendy's because you're tired and get a baked potato and thing of chili and track it while you're sitting in the drive-thru. It becomes easy. You guys get on your phone and you guys get on Facebook all day, Instagram all day. You could get in your macro tracking app for 10 minutes a day. Like you can. So we've had 75-year-old women come into our program and track macros successfully. That's how easy we make it. We make it that easy. Our completion rate is 95%. 97% of people lost weight who selected the weight loss category in our last 30-day program. So guys, I'm just here to tell you a couple things. One, you can do our program for the month of December. Right now, we have an early bird registration for $179. We will walk you through the whole thing, and I literally guarantee you results. Number two, if you don't want to do our program, download a macro tracker online. You probably find, just Google. I don't know what numbers they're going to spit out at you, but it's going to give you consistency on a day-to-day basis so you don't under or overeat. Or number three, try to eat anti-inflammatory foods for the most part in continuation with your shakes. Here's the other thing that I would advise. If you have been drinking dairy shakes for a while and you're not seeing a lot of results, switch over to the plant-based shakes, okay? My goal with this live was to help you through months that are typically a struggle. And honestly, if you're in Isagenix and you're building a business, this is brilliant for you, because this is the best time that people are going to be unsure of what they're doing, why they're doing it, why they're feeling the way they're feeling. And if you're doing something like this and you're feeling good and you're still drinking the eggnog, eating the Christmas cookies, and having your shakes, you're setting yourself up for January. I'm just telling you that right now. So this live was specifically for people in Isagenix, because I know a lot of you are in this community, okay? So I wanted to help you understand why macro tracking, whether you do it with Willpowered or on your own, why macro tracking can set you up for massive success over the next 45 days of the fall and into January. It's going to set you up. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to touch on is intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is something you can do every day, 12 to 16 hours. Okay. It's something you could do every day. It's going to help your body digest a lot of that food. It's going to decrease your eating window. So the idea is through months like this, you're going to increase absorption. You're going to increase detoxification, but you're also going to shorten your eating window. Therefore, you're going to eat less food. But remember, it starts at the base. The base is most people tend to slip up, gain weight, or feel bad during the holiday seasons, and they feel guilty for what they're eating because there's a high inconsistency in the intake. And when your body senses a high inconsistency is when it goes into a panic mode and you start getting symptoms, you start feeling bad, you start gaining weight, and all hell breaks loose in how you feel. And this is when all the best foods are out for you to enjoy. So it messes up our relationship with food. So macros, what they do is they're like calories. They give you consistency on a day-to-day basis, and they help separate out the three macros, protein, carbs, and fats, so you don't under or overeat on any individual one to allow you to feel good. Okay, guys? So that's it for me. Thank you guys for staying on. Like I said, if you guys want to hop into our challenge, December, we will take care of you. That's what we do. We've helped thousands of people in the Isagenix community get even better results with their products. We don't tell you to stop taking them. We don't tell you to take more. It's as flexible as you want, because when you have macros, you can eat whatever you want. It's just you're consuming a portion. It starts on December 2nd. So December 2nd, we'll start the coaching week. So we take you through 4 days of coaching. You don't get macros on December 2nd. We coach you for 4 days, make sure that you are ready to go, hyped up. You know everything there is about macros. You know everything there is about anti-inflammatory foods. You know everything there is about managing toxicity. And it's an education program. We're teaching you about this stuff so you could do it for the rest of your life. So you get access to an online learning portal. You get access to 4 professional coaches, and what people will comment in here, one of the best online communities on Facebook, in my opinion. So the coaching starts December 2nd. You'll get coached for 4 days, and then you'll get macros on that Friday. We'll walk you through the whole thing. You don't have to give up anything. You don't have to give up eggnog, Christmas cookies, Christmas dinners, nothing. One of the best experiences, hands down. And like I said, 97% success rate. Other than that, guys, hope you got some good stuff out of this. And I will see you guys later. Make sure to bring some more people in the group too. Tag them in this live.